Hello, I'm Roger Bisbee from Skill Builder, and I've got some bad news. I've had a robbery. Some bastard has got into my van and stolen all my tools. And like everybody, I now think about van security. And I've come down to Sussex Installations, who specialise in securing vans, to see what they can do for me. This is Jeff Scott. You're an expert in this.
Roger, nice to meet you. Thanks for making the trip down to us. Yeah, that's right. We're going to show you what I recommend for your van. We'll show you a little bit what we've done on our own vehicles and have a good talk through and see what we can do for you.
Okay, lovely. Now, funnily enough, you've got a van which is very similar to mine. Your fleet van here is...
Yeah, it's more or less the same model. Obviously, you've got the crew cab version, so you've got the additional seats inside the van. It's not a complete, just straight van like this one, but the same sort of principles apply. The same type of braking techniques, the same type of thing that we need to do to secure the van. It's very, very similar. So what we've got on this van is we've got a combination of products here. We've got slam handles, so it's taken off the original handle and put a slam lock in.
Yeah.
And we've also got some extra deadlocks on this door, and then there's an alarm system which we can show you in a minute. The reason for these slam handles were the previous model, they had a big plastic handle on them here, and what people would do was they'd break the whole handle off and they'd attack the latch mechanism, and regardless that the van was locked, deadlocked from the factory remote control, by attacking that latch mechanism through like the security shield, which is 1 millimetre piece of plastic.
Is it really? Is
it's
that
ridiculous.
All it was?
They get the van open, and so we used to change it with a slam handle, and we'd have a nice big plate in there which is blocking access to that vulnerable latch mechanism.
You put that plate,
yeah,
so you couldn't see it.
That's right. So it was like a sandwich on the old van. So now once we've moved over to this model van, we carried on with the slam handles, but it was also them by themselves. It's not enough to really do anything. The latch mechanism is still vulnerable. So it's actually the key part is that internal shielding. So what we're going to suggest on your van is, just because we want to give the most we can for the budget, we're going to leave the slam handles so you don't have the inconvenience of locking your keys inside the van, but we're going to fit the internal shielding.
Right, and so we're not going to do the slam handles?
No.
Okay, but the internal shielding is the bit that you reckon is really where the security
Really, really important. And if you see the type of braking attacks we're seeing on these vans, and they do circumvent the factory deadlocking, so even if you've done the factory deadlocking on your van, by cutting this hole in there.
How do they do that? Do they got a hack or something, or what? With the deadlock?
It seems to be that either they're using a can opener, or they're just poking a screwdriver, or they're drilling a hole through the back of the van.
Okay, so they mechanically bypass that factory deadlock.
Yeah.
It's not, I'm not talking about someone getting a computer and hacking into the system.
The thing is, you can never see what's coming, and obviously that's what we're finding. These manufacturers, they design this van, bang, whether it's this van with this vulnerability, whether it's like the Ford with the driver's door barrel, which has absolutely plagued them, or any of these other models that we see in these very strange type of vulnerabilities, where they push a side load door out with a screwdriver and the whole van's unlocking itself. There's just madness.
One thing I want to ask you, you don't have to answer this really, but why do manufacturers not do a better job of securing their vehicles? We've heard about the transit thing, which is an absolute disaster. Thousands and thousands of transits being broken into just by hacking the software. Yeah. So now we've got, what I consider to be basic things. Why haven't they got a guy like you on board telling them what they ought to do?
I think it's the bigger the giant, the slower they move.
Okay, I'm feeling more confident already, and I know that we were late arriving this morning, so you've got a big job on your hands. Are you going to do it on your own or what?
No, I got the guys here, so I've got Matt and Danny here, and we're going to crack on, and we're going to get your van secured.
I'm going to leave you to it then, mate. Okay, thanks very much.
Brilliant, thank you.
You might find a £50 note in there.
They're all over the place, my £50 notes, aren't
I guess from a point of view with the light, like where to put the flashing LED for it, it's nice if it's somewhere where you can sort of see it from around. So what I'm suggesting, but it's your personal preference as the customer where you like it, so we put it somewhere pretty much around about here, which would be kind of there. So that would be kind of a good all-around sight. If someone was looking in sizing up your motor from the driver's side, he's going to see it from the passenger side, and actually probably as he's walking down the road he can see it. Also, from your point of view, you want to it's quite nice. Did I lock the van up? You know, you just look out the window at night. Oh yeah, you see the light flashing. Yeah, it's fine. That's not normal. I've probably just got a leak from his aerial or something.
So what's the most common? I suppose the Transit is the most common one, isn't it?
The Custom is the most popular van we do.
Yeah.
After that, probably the high roof Transit after that, and then these are very popular as well. What else? I think it's probably those are the three main ones. Everything else is probably about even scale. Actually, probably the Citroen Relays. We do a lot of those.
Yeah.
Citroen Relay, Peugeot Boxer, all that shape. We do quite a few of those as well.
So are there any models that are harder to work on access-wise?
Yes. Yeah.
So what's your worst nightmare?
Vito is not my favourite.
Okay.
The alarm on a Vito is alright, but doing the security locks on a Vito is not fun. But it just comes down to what lock you fit in as well. Certain vehicles, deadlocks is nice and easy. Other vehicles, ultimate locks are easier. It just depends what you got, really.
What is that? What, you do loads and loads of tests on it?
Yeah, because it's normal just to check it, you know, just to make sure it's working properly.
Oh yeah, if you ever want to refresh your ply lining, don't buy a whole new set, just take it all off, give it dust off, acoustic carpet over it. Loads of online places you can get it from, and it instantly refreshes all of your load area, and because it's all cut to size already, you just put it back on. Very cheap, very easy.
It's all cut to size.
Yeah, all the ply lining you've got inside already, because to do the acoustic carpet you lay it on the floor, you spray adhesive glue all over it, and then you spray adhesive glue onto the ply lining as well.
Yeah.
Wait 60 seconds, put it on top, you cut around it but give it so it can come back over, put it back up, easy peasy. It's very easy to do. I've done it on a couple of my mates' vans where they were talking about getting new ply lining, and I said, well, what's the point of wasting £150 on that when you can just spend £20 on a load of acoustic carpet and £10 on glue. And it looks 10 times better as well.
Yeah, sure.
Much nicer finish.
I might do that. I might do the acoustic carpet upgrade now.
You should.
Yeah.
You should be crazy not to.
I love it. I love it when a van comes together.
What we found is that perhaps if it's a bit cold and there's no lubricant in there, they can sort of jam a little bit, and you're to the point then where you probably need to use a screwdriver to tease the hook out at the same time as turning the lock. But what I'll do is I'm going to give you some of this lubricant, and it might be that you spray it once a month. And at this point, try not to throw it all over yourself like I've just done.
So let me tell you, I'm a tradesman and I consider myself to be quite handy. I can use a drill, I can use a screwdriver, but having seen what these guys have done to the van, all that fascia that they took away, all those ways they had to get in, I wouldn't even begin to do this as a DIY job. So I'm really pleased to see what you've done, and I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, well look, let me show you what we've done. First off, there's just a couple of little pieces for you. There's an installation certificate for the alarm system, there's an owner's manual and an emergency PIN number. Basically there's 3 strategies that we've worked on here. First strategy is trying to help secure the manufacturer's weak point of the van. And what we're looking at this being a crew cab version, really we're looking at that latch mechanism down low and people accessing that latch mechanism. So we fitted a shield inside of the door covering that latch, so if somebody gets through the weak bodywork of the vehicle, we've got an extra layer of protection between them and the part that gets the van in the unlock position. So that means that hopefully this main catch here is going to stay in the lock position, and that's going to be great, you know. Half the battle won, hopefully. The next thing is, in terms of securing the manufacturer's part, is the manufacturer's lock part is down here, and we've put a security point up the top here. So this is our hook style deadlock, which is up at the top of the van here, and that means that basically that hook goes in onto the bracket which we fitted onto the other door just up here. And that's given an extra securing point. So if someone was to just come along and try and fold this door down from the top, it means that we've got an extra securing point at the top. The deadlocks also serve another purpose. They're basically an extra layer of security which is completely manual, completely separate from your factory remote control. So if anyone actually unlocked the van electronically, or if they did get the van open in any way, basically the door would just go that little bit, and then the deadlocks would stop the door from opening. So that top lock's on, the hook lock, and the bottom lock's on as well. Same key fits both locks.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
So the door opens, that's it, just a little bit, and that's it. It doesn't open any more than that.
Now, as far as that key, I'm terrible at losing keys. What happens if I lose that key?
We can send these out to you. You know, we can get it overnight to you the next day, should you lose one. But there is 2 keys. Now, the next thing, the third strategy. So basically, first strategy, trying to secure the manufacturer's weak point. Second one, having the extra layer of security on the van with the deadlocks. And then the third one is having an alarm system. As we said before, and you said, how would I know if I've got an alarm to start with from the factory? And that's, like I said, that's a really good question, because on these vans, there doesn't really seem to be any kind of visual alert that there might be an alarm fitted. I mean, quite often there's a very basic alarm, and inside the, you don't even see anything by the lights. There's no cab detection. It just seems to be on the doors itself. So if someone's got a Renault Traffic, or they've got a Vauxhall Vivaro van of this shape, and they're wanting to, there's the Nissan, it was the MV300, I think. If they got one of these vans and you want to check if you've got an alarm on your van, lock it, deadlock it, so press the factory remote control twice and wait for at least a minute. So I know it's painful when you're waiting for a minute. You almost have to set a timer just to make sure you don't go too early, but you have to wait for longer than a minute. Then don't touch the remote control, but open the door manually. You do have a manual lock on this door, but it's only on the passenger side. So if you look on the driver's side, you think, well, I don't have any manual locks, but you do. So you would then turn that into the unlock position and then open up your door. And then you're going to see, to turn that off, then you're going to know. If you open up that door and you hear the alarm going, you'll know that you've got an alarm. But if you don't hear anything, then of course there's no alarm fitted. So your van actually, it didn't have an alarm when we started today, did it? So,
well, I hope not.
No. We've done the test.
We've got 2 alarms.
We've done the test and there was no alarm system. So what that means is we've had to actually fit an alarm system to it, and that alarm does operate from your factory remote control. So you press the lock button, the van locks, the alarm goes on, we heard the beep, and now there's a flashing blue light, nice bright blue light up at the top of the van on the interior there, just to let you and everyone else know that the alarm is on. And what that means is your van is protected, and a good visual deterrent that it's protected. If you want to turn it off, you just press the unlock button and it turns off. So it's no real extra inconvenience to you to have this.
Every time I lock that van, double deadlock on the key.
It will, even if you lock it the once, the alarm will go on.
Okay, yeah.
And then once you unlock it, the alarm will turn off and you'll get the 2 bleeps.
Okay.
To say that the alarm's off.
So how does this alarm work? Basically, this is more than the perimeter doors.
It's not just the perimeter alarm around the doors.
The perimeter doors, is it?
It is, yeah, as well. But what also with this particular alarm is it's got some extra sensors in the cab. So these are ultrasonic sensors up in the cab of the van, and it means that it will detect if anyone breaks a window and leans in to remove contents, then these sensors will pick up that movement. Basically, they send an ultrasonic frequency around the vehicle, and the brain times how long it takes to go around. So any kind of variation, smash window, someone moving around, that will set the alarm off. So this is sort of, like, I'm not going to say standard, but this is the type of thing that we would have fitted to cars for years and years. We would have fitted an alarm that detects all the doors and the bonnet and the boot and interior sensors. But that sort of mindset of, you know, alarm fitting like this is not enough for your van man. It's not enough for your tradesmen that have got tools in a confined cargo area. So this has really been the big thing for the last sort of few years now, is if we fit in any kind of alarm, or if the manufacturer's already got an alarm on there, we want to put extra sensors in the load area. So that's what we can go and talk about.
Can I just say that, does that mean I've got to keep the windows closed and everything when I park it up, and I make sure they're absolutely closed? If they were a little cracked open that much, what would that do?
These sensors, ultrasonic sensors, are super reliable sensors, and they don't false alarm. If you hear your alarm go off, it means that someone's in your van. However, it does mean that actually you do need to have your windows fully closed, and you can't have people, children, dogs inside the vehicle with those sensors turned on. But we can turn them off and put the alarm on, so the rest of it is still on.
Oh really? How?
Yeah, and I'll show you that. So what you would do is, just before you exit the van, you turn the ignition on 3 times, and you hear that beep, that noise, and then once you come out of the van and set the alarm, it will set the alarm around the perimeter. It will set the additional cargo sensors that we fitted, but it won't actually detect on the inside. So you can have that partial detection. So if I put the alarm on now, we hear the one beep, and then you hear a different boop. Different sound afterwards, and that's your audible confirmation that I did do it right. You know, if you think to yourself, did I do it or didn't I do it, you can hear it. It's there.
But that one's still flashing in there.
The LED is still flashing. The alarm is on. The cargo sensor's on. Everything's on except for these interior sensors.
Now I'll tell you why this is important to me. Right, this confession I've got to make is because sometimes, very very rarely, I might have a kip on the back seat and lock the door. You know, just lock the door. If I'm taking a crafty cat nap in the middle of the day for an hour, I don't want that alarm going off. So that's the way around it.
You've got 2 options. One is that you can do this with the alarm. You turn the ignition on a few times. The other one would be that actually you could just, I think you've got a lock button on the dashboard there. You could just lock the buttons internally, reach across, and not put the alarm on at all. Just lock the door. So
brilliant.
That's another option you got.
Oh, that's clever. I never would have thought of doing that, but that's easy. Yeah, okay.
I mean, you might feel that you're in a position that's actually there's no security risk, but you know, if you fall asleep and come in a building site and then you wake up and you've left your mates there, you could be in a right state.
Good point.
You might have shaved your head or done anything that could have happened.
Not my mates. They wouldn't do that, would they? Anyway, let's have a look. What have we got?
Let's show you the rear.
So
just while we're on the way back to the rear, actually we've not done it on this van, but if this was a regular van where this is also your cargo area in the middle, regular panel van, then we would typically put a switch on the top of this door. So if someone starts to pull this door open to fold it, if they get to sort of around about 10 millimeters out, then the alarm goes off nice and early. So we're trying to stop that thing where people are actually folding the doors all the way down the top of the doors, which is happening. We'd also probably be putting locks on this van, on this door, deadlock, and also some internal shielding actually inside the door, protecting the latch mechanism, similar to what we've done at the back.
But from my point of view, if I leave that, no tools in there, nothing on display that anybody thinks is worth nicking, it's unlikely they're going to go in there.
Yeah, it's not a huge risk. You know, we could have said, look, you should have deadlocks to the side doors and to the front doors as well. But I don't know, for that amount of money you're going to spend to protect not a lot that's in there, it's probably not worth it in your case. You know, but it might be worth it for others.
Yeah. Okay. So the key to it with you is that basically you're looking at each individual, working out what their needs are, and coming up with a package.
Yeah, I see packages as being important. I think that quite often, like if it's within the budget to do a package, I realise that it's not within everyone's budget to spend a lot of money on their van security. So we've got to be reasonable. If it's a shed alarm that someone's going to buy from B&Q and put batteries in it, if that's what is necessary for them, then they should do it. If someone's just going to drill big holes and put that half-some staple on there, it might look a bit naff if it all rusts up and it doesn't look so good. But if that's within their budget and that serves the purpose, then they should do it. If people can take the tools out the van and they've got a secure place to store them and it's practical for them to do that, then they should do it. But as far as I'm looking at is a package where we can help to make the manufacturers lock in more secure, and we can add an extra layer of security, like with the locks, the deadlocks, or some surface mounted locks, which we also fit. And then ideally with an alarm system which encompasses cargo area protection as well. One of these detectors in the cargo area is vital. Any alarm, don't overlook that. I would say, if anyone's getting any alarm fitted anywhere and it's for a van, forget the fact that it's our old school fitting a car alarm, ultrasonic sensors in the cab, protection on the doors. It needs to have this cargo area protection. It's essential. Nearly all manufacturers, they don't fit any of this as standard with their alarms. So if you've got the factory fitted alarm, we probably can do an upgrade with this type of detector, maybe for your factory alarm, just so you don't have to pay out for a whole new alarm. And we might do that at the same time as fitting some locks and perhaps some extra shielding to protect the manufacturer's vulnerabilities if we've got that available for that make and model vehicle. Because it varies, everyone is different, every make and model is different, and there's different advice.
So I just want to make one final obvious observation, which is that there's no point having all this work done, all those lovely security locks fitted, if you're going to leave your keys in an easily accessible place. In other words, we all come in, chuck them on the hall table and go to bed. So that is an essential thing, is to keep your keys somewhere safe, somewhere secure, so that the thief can't get hold of them. And all the time it's changing, isn't it? All the time.
The advice changes all the time. So best thing is, if you're interested in van security, if you've got if you're a tradesman or you're carrying cargo, whatever, subscribe to our channel. It's Sussex Installations on YouTube. So come and find us, keep an eye on what we're doing, and you might just get a bit of an update 6 months or a year later, and it might make you rethink your security.
So subscribe to Sussex Installations, subscribe to Skill Builder. That will keep you up to date, because we will be revisiting van security and all these subjects at a later date. Great to see you, Jeff. Thanks very much indeed.
Thanks for your time today.
And I've got to say, I can recommend this guy. I came to him through YouTube by seeing his video, and I'm delighted.
That's great. Thank you very much indeed. Cheers.